Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Vincenzo Murphy, and this is my review of Hot Summer Days and Love in Space. Hot Summer Days is, right from the beginning, a very nice looking film. This film is mostly young actors, but one of the stories features Jacky Cheung and Rene. Jacky Cheung plays a single father who struggles to raise his daughter, make ends meet, deal with being unceremoniously dumped by his wife, and maintains some kind of dignity in the middle of it all. Nicolas turns in a strong performance as an everyman who's just trying to get by, but is also very dependable, and he has a really big heart. If nothing else, it's kind of funny to watch him portray someone who is oblivious to the fact that he looks like he does. If an air conditioning repairman looked like Nicolas Che, he'd be rich, because every woman in Hong Kong would demand his services. Some of them would probably even want their air conditioning fixed. Speaking of people too beautiful for their roles, Angelababy plays a young girl in small-town China who asks a lot of a young man that she just met. Unsurprisingly, because it's a movie, and because she looks like her, he complies to a degree. Daniel Wu's role is kind of small in this movie, and his character was one of great emotional reservation, so he ends up looking and acting a lot like Keanu Reeves, who couldn't emote if you set him on fire. While Daniel does a good job, the result is somebody who seems so remote and distant that the role itself is kind of hard to remember. But that's a good thing within the context of the film. That's the way his character is supposed to be. I really liked Hot Summer Days because it did a lot of things right, it was entertaining, I never felt insulted, I enjoyed myself, and any of the flaws that I saw were, on average, outweighed by the strength of the film. I was excited when they announced that there was going to be a sequel. And now, part 2 of our review for Love in Space. It's reasonably well made, but the story suffers a lot from some significant shortcomings. Aaron Kwok probably has some kind of terminal disease and he's gonna die soon because that's the only way to explain why he consistently overacts in so many films. Rene Liu, who normally I enjoy looking at, is forced to play a character so odd and poorly written that it really made me want to scream. Her petulant, childish behavior is bad enough, but when she has a inevitable for these kind of movies breakdown and starts screaming all she really wants is to be married and have children and take care of my husband, it's nauseating and it's insulting to every woman on Earth that's an astronaut. One of the worst aspects of the space segment, beyond that stupidity, is just how badly the idea of a zero-gravity environment is rendered in the film. Quite frankly, it sucks. It's inconsistent, it's poorly executed, and it often blows intelligence and logic out of the airlock like so many Ripley-threatening aliens. The only thing worse than that is the segment's hackneyed, revolting homage to 2001. It looked like Spaceballs. The other storyline, in Love in Space, involves Angelababy playing a movie star, which is hardly a stretch, and her love interest, who works in a coffee shop. She likes him because he always shows a lot of balls. What did you think I meant? The story was cute, though overly so, and the plausibility meter blew up about 5 minutes into the story. But what annoyed me the most about this segment was that it contains two of the worst examples of inexcusable filmmaking I've seen in a long time. First, there's a scene where a young man is driving a petticart while Angelababy sits in the back. Well, a couple of shots later, when they arrive at their destination, guess what? They look like this. She's on the other side of the cart, and they're wearing the headphones in different ears, because somebody flipped the footage over. F*** you too. If you try to say that it's style, it's still a failure. If it's a mistake, somebody needs to take your camera away until you learn how to play with it right. These two have an argument. And naturally, we have to have a flashback about it. Well, during the flashback, there's an extra line of dialogue that wasn't in the argument the first time. Because according to somebody I talked to that was in a position to know, the line had been cut from the first scene and they forgot to take it out of the flashback. Or maybe they were just trying to be hip. Either way, no! The third segment of the film, which as we can see is pretty much on a downward slide, stars Eason and
Lun-mei.
He's a garbage man and she's got OCD about germs. Happens all the time. But fear not, because in the end everything works out and everybody's happy and of course nobody gets laid. Because this film is made for China. To quote the New York Post, Love in Space is just what movie fans have been waiting for. A romantic comedy from communist China. This film is just as good as that makes it sound. It really kind of disappointed me that Love in Space was as bad as Hot Summer Days was good. I would strongly encourage you to watch Hot Summer Days and avoid Love in Space like the cinematic plague that I think it is. If you want to watch these movies, don't download them. Buy them. In the description, there are links where you can buy the movies because that's what good upstanding people do. So that's what I want you to do. If you have suggestions for reviews, please let me know. If I want to watch the movie, I will. But don't ask me to review All About Women, the Choi Hawk film. I'm not going to do it because I almost had an aneurysm watching it in the cinema, so just forget it. If anyone would like to do traditional Chinese subtitles for these reviews, please let me know. I'd be very interested in having you help me. I can't pay you, but I can at least say thanks. If you enjoyed this review, please leave me a comment. If you didn't enjoy the review and you liked Love in Space, leave me a comment. If you enjoy these reviews, please subscribe to the channel. If my stupidity interests you in any way, shape, or form, please follow me on Twitter and on Facebook. Because if you do that, you'll get to have updates sooner. Now, this is an older film, so I didn't really tweet anything about it. But when I go watch new movies, I will tweet things, usually when I'm in the cinema. Sometimes if I get to go to a premiere and meet somebody famous. Or sometimes if I'm robbing a liquor store, because let's face it, I'd rather have my picture taken then, right? Have a nice day. So I can strongly recommend the first one of these movies, and if I find out that you watch the second one, I'll slap you.